All right, so here's a little update that's going to be coming to the Wingman platform. So, initially to hold the battery on the Wingman, I was using these off-the-shelf 18650 battery holders, and they were a pretty fine way to get started. The only thing, basically, I just bought them like this, and all I had to do is drill the holes here for fixing it to the top plate. And the very first batch, I made that jig, 3D printed jig, and I just manually drilled through it. Then I got a CNC machine to drill it through it, but still, that takes quite a bit of work setting up the machine and manually drilling each of them. And there were still a few things that I wasn't quite happy with this battery holder. And so I always wanted to make a custom battery holder for it. And as the inventory for this part ran out, I actually ordered a new batch of them, as well as shims, to start developing the next one. And funny enough, you can see that this one is pretty nicely made. It's a injection plastic part, and these latches here, they're actually taking them out with a lifter in the mold. You can see the marks here. So that's actually a pretty complicated mold for what it is. And it shows up the ones I received. They actually cored out this area here so that they can take out these features directly from the other side of the mold. And the issue with this is that, they removed exactly the part where my holes were supposed to be. So I sent them back, and I just expedited the design for this new one. And so after a few revisions, I'm pretty sure that we have a winner. So what this is gonna mean for the future of the Wingman platform. So by making our own battery holder, that will bring quite a few benefits. So the first one is that we'll be able to source the metal contacts only, which appear to be a lot easier to source in good quality. First of all, there's probably going to be an improvement in the consistency and the quality of the contacts. This one I've got, they are phosphor bronze, nickel plated phosphor bronze. It's a pretty thick coating too. Here you can see the material through the scratch. Or is it this one? Yeah, you can barely see it. It's really hard to scratch. Doesn't seem to oxidate very well. So, and a very good conductor as well, as opposed to the steel ones. So that's part one, better metal contacts. Second one is that we can have, I could add some missing features that I've wanted to see. The first one, if you've flown your Wingman for quite a bit, you'll notice that the contact, they can tend to get overbent and basically reach the plastic deformation and stay in a much more compressed state as they were when new. But what can happen even in other cases is that in case of a crash, for instance, you can have the contact completely caving in into the holder. It's not a big deal, you can always bend it back. I don't think I've ever broken one from work hardening, but yeah, so there was no way to protect the contacts against that, because the battery was actually located by the spring contact. So the plastic housing actually has quite a lot of gap of clearance, like 5 millimeter. So the battery could sit anywhere between these two, and that meant that that will result in inconsistent contact pressure between the front and the back. Eventually, as it wears out, sometimes you have more force on the front, or how you insert it. You'll bend the front, bend the back, and eventually it just gets a bit more loose, and yeah, you're losing juice in contact resistance. And these two issues I fixed on this design by adding these vertical ribs here. And what these guys do is they locate the battery in the plastic like this. So the battery has much less clearance to slide around, and yeah, that allows the contacts to work in the optimal range. Yeah, so they're not gonna get bent up over time, whether you crash or if you insert it weird, the battery, if you insert it sideways, they always gonna retain their shape. So yeah, that's gonna mean much more consistent and reliable contact on your battery. So that's one feature. And the second one is some way to hold the antenna. So I've made this little channel that you can just insert a zip tie in to hold your battery, because before that I would just put a zip tie to the wire, and yeah, it works fine, but yeah, surely we could do better. And now we have something better. And yeah, so new better sourcing, better quality for the contacts, new features, and the stage 2 of this change is to bring 21700 support to the Wingman as it stands. So here is a prototype that I've been running before. It is based on a off-the-shelf also battery tray, and yeah, I had to grind off, because it's so wide, I had to grind off clearings for the screws. I had to grind off a bit on the front as well to clear the props right here. And yeah, so that's a lot of work, and this battery holder is not really great either. Yeah, back to the contact, the metal contact piece. This is steel. so not great conductivity, and also it had no retaining feature. It just holds by friction. So this was good for testing. Actually, 21700 works pretty fine as well on the Wingman, so it's quite a lot extra load. It seems to have about the same flight time, but you get a lot less sag. It just feels a bit more planted in flight. So yeah, something worth trying. And so yeah, now that I have good spring contacts, I can just scale this design up to fit the top plate a bit more elegantly, so in a way that yeah, you can assemble it much easier. And so yeah, this new battery holder, it's basically deployed now, because this is my last ever battery holder, 18650 for the Wingman, so I'm deploying this right now. And yeah, this is printed from CFPETG. Chose this material for its great printability, layer adhesion, and robustness. So it's fairly rigid, prints well. Of course, you're gonna gain a little bit of weight as well, because you're saving quite a bit of material. I'm not sure it really matters that much, but yeah, the files will be released. However, you're not gonna be able to do much with it unless you have the contacts that come with it. So yeah, I'll list out some kits where you can get just the contacts or print your own, or there's no really there is no real reason to upgrade to this new one if you already have a standard battery tray. Like even on mine, I'm probably not gonna bother, that I fly every day. But yeah, for the future ones, or if you want to upgrade to the 21700, this is the contact that I'm gonna try to work with, because I haven't designed the 21700 yet. I see if it's work fine. But here's how they come. They will come. So they have this little dicky protruding that you need to snip off. Yeah, don't worry about it. They don't feel nothing, promise. So I just trim it off, and there you have your contact that you can just insert into the print like this. Oh yeah, and one of the last feature as well is the opening here on the back. The little rib here to solder was pretty thin, so I tended to melt and burn the plastic quite a bit. So I've made it a bit wider, and I've chamfered it nicely so you have better access for soldering. So yeah, 3D print files will be available if you want to make your own. The contacts, I'm gonna list them. I'm gonna list upgrade kits as well, if you wish. And yeah, if you want to learn more about how I designed this now, just talk a bit about the process. Those are the iterations of this design. This was the first one that I did, still tuning the material and the design. So this one, for instance, the clips, they came up, they were too thin at the top, and material was too cold, so they ended up being pretty brittle and break too easily. So then I made them thicker and increased temperature by 10 degrees. But this ended up being too much temperature, so it did have much better resistance. It didn't break as much, but I still actually broke one. So I changed it one more. I reduced the temperature by 5 degrees. This one was working perfect. And then the last one was just designed for manufacturing. So I edited the wall thickness so that I have multiples of the line width. So here, if you look at the slicer, you can see at every wall, maybe hide the travel, every wall is a multiple of the line width. So this, the bottom, yeah, this is 2 line width, so I'm printing at 0.5 millimeter line width. This is 4. This little hook at the back is 3. And this is done to reduce the unnecessary, well, just reduce the amount of moves and make the part quicker to print. Especially this PETG, I'm printing it fairly slow, so I want to optimize it as much as possible. And of course, it requires no supports. So this hook here, I made the top slanted so that it can build up at an angle before connecting back to the base. And the only overhang is this little window here for the latching feature of the spring connector, and it's only 1.5 millimeter wide, so you can just bridge it, and everything else prints just fine. Was a bit challenging to make work because I want to have maximum accuracy in this direction for the spring contact and the hole on the bottom. The thing is, by printing in this direction, that makes the battery latching in the worst possible direction, because as 3D print with this process FDM, you're always laying a hot melted plastic on top of slightly colder material, so you never really get perfect bonding or adhesion between the layers. So yeah, this is the worst layer for the worst orientation for such a feature. But yeah, this is why I choose PETG, which has great layer adhesion properties. And here you can see in this design, every single feature has a purpose. Here's the clearance. Right here I put little chamfers on the battery holders, clasps, yeah, just to reduce the stress on the edge when inserting the battery. And yeah, in order to print it, I just put them side by side, and I connected them with this little strip of material so that I can print sets. Just take them off the plate, put them in the kits, and yeah, I don't have to worry about mixing up the front and the backs. When they come off the plate, they come already attached and ready to get in the kits. And yeah, I put the polarity on both sides. And yeah, that was a couple days of work, but I'm sure that that's gonna be worth it. A nice little facelift for the Wingman. Another one after the 3.5-inch arms. So yeah, these will start shipping today. I'm gonna start printing them. Currently they take about 10 minutes to print each, so it's not the most efficient part that we make, but yeah, it's fine. It's a pretty reliable part to print. A little bit of heat on the bed. There is plenty of surface here to adhere, and PETG is pretty good with it too. As long as you give it enough heat on the bed plate, you mitigate greatly the risks of warping. So yeah, I'm just gonna put a whole bunch of them, fill up my plate. I'm gonna start with smaller numbers, like maybe 4x4 or 5x5, and yeah, as the process is proven to be reliable, I can just increase the amount of parts I put on my plate as needed. So yeah, hope you found this interesting. I hope that you like the new battery holder. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you again very soon.